You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We have a special guest in the building.
Now, I don't get excited for too many guests.
Right.
Okay? But I'm going to be watching this man all weekend. I'm going to pause that. This is all right. Okay? This is Mike Colter, a.k.a. Luke Cage.
Now, when they said you were coming, I didn't know that there were black superheroes.
Okay.
I'm serious.
All right.
I knew Media Man,
Who the hell is Media Man?
Blank Man, and Handyman.
What are you talking about?
Handyman.
So you never heard of Luke Cage? You never heard of Black Panther? You never heard of
didn't.
Storm? What are you talking about?
It's okay, man. That's what we need to do. We have to convert one at a time. It's okay. It's
Because
okay.
the ones that they always promote is your Supermans, your Spider-Man.
No, that's not true.
When I
Well,
was
you
a
know what
kid,
it is?
absolutely.
Envy's not really that into super. A lot of, there's people that aren't that into it, and that's why they say that Luke Cage is actually going to be a great series to watch, because even if you've never known the backstory of any of these superheroes, you can still watch it and know what's going on.
I was excited
Exactly.
when I heard there was a
When I was a kid, my two favorite superheroes were Wolverine and Power Man.
Mm-hmm.
And this is
Envy
Power
has
Man.
no idea who.
Yeah, he's a
that
Power Man.
is.
I know
He
Yeah,
looks
no
lost.
idea.
He looks lost. He's like, wait a minute, what?
I mean, it's okay.
It's okay. No, this is great. We like to be unique and have something that no one's heard of. And honestly, we're not really pitching ourselves as a superhero show. It's kind of just a good show and happens to have a superhero in it or a man with special abilities. But
Let's talk about the symbolism of that now, because Luke Cage, his superpowers are steel hard skin
yeah,
and super strength, so he's bulletproof.
yeah, and endurance, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
How is that? How are y'all gonna play with the whole? I guess the social injustice going on with the police and
You know, it's funny. We don't really have to do anything. It's like it's almost like if you want to make Trump look like an idiot, just let him speak. You don't have to do anything. So with us, we don't have to do anything. The world is the way it is, and people are going to see what they see. It's like perception. So you're watching the show, and you're going to get what you get from it. And we shot this and put it in the can about 6 months ago.
Wow.
We started in Labor Day of last year, and there were a lot of things bubbling up at that time. There were obviously Eric Gardner. There were some issues going on, but right now it's at a fever pitch. We couldn't time it any better. And Marvel is obviously not a place that has an agenda. So when we put the show out, it just happens to be at a crucial time in society where people feel like they're really, really in need of this.
Now, for people who aren't familiar with the whole backstory of Luke Cage and how he became impenetrable and bulletproof, tell us how that happened.
The comic book was written in 1972, and what was established there is what we were pulling from. So he's a man who was wrongly convicted, sent to prison, set up, and he's not feeling sorry for himself.
You got the black man.
Yeah, wrongly convicted, wrongly accused, put him in prison. Yeah,
Very true to brand.
Very true, right?
Yeah, okay.
So he goes to prison. While they're in there, he has an experiment that's done on him illegally. It's done because he's in dire straits, and it actually saves his life. But he gets these abilities, and he uses these abilities to then escape. Now, when he escapes, he basically goes on the lam, as they say, changes his name, gets an alias, and his alias is Luke Cage. Now, no one knows who he is, so he's laying low. That's one of the reasons he doesn't want to get involved in the community when they need him, because he's got his own problems. He's trying to, pay his rent. He's trying to make ends meet. He's working. When we find him in Jessica Jones, he had a bar. Everything was fine, lovely, and then some things happened. Lost his bar, lost his apartment. So right now, when you meet him in Luke Cage's series, he's kind of back to square one again.
In Harlem.
Laying low at a barbershop.
Listening to Wu-Tang.
Listen to Wu-Tang, as one would, when you're laying low. And just trying to figure his life out.
Does it tackle the whole hero for hire aspect in the TV show?
Not immediately.
Okay.
This is a slow burn, because what's great about Netflix here is you want to peel the layers back slowly. We can't just jump on the first episode and go, okay, Luke Cage here for hire. We met him in Jessica Jones. He was like, bartender. Then he got involved in some things. Now it's like he's going to be in Harlem kind of helping out the community and trying to figure out where he belongs, because with special abilities, he realizes that in the real world, people find out about his powers. He's a freak. Right. What does this bring? It brings attention. He's a humble guy. He doesn't want the attention. He doesn't care about, being seen and recognized, but he doesn't have a mask. People recognize him. They know who he is. They know where to find him.
The ladies love him.
The ladies love him. Girlies adore him. Yeah.
That's good, because the only reason I don't watch a lot of the Marvel movies and those other movies, because I always thought that I would have to know what's going on. So I can watch this from the start, and I won't feel left out.
And then maybe you'll go back and watch Jessica Jones.
But you can do that with pretty much any of the Netflix series.
Yeah,
Because
they're standalone.
Yeah, it's 13 episodes, and they explain backstories and all of that.
Were you in the comics as a kid?
No, not that much. I wasn't a diehard. I wasn't like a fanboy or I didn't.
a geek,
Yeah,
right?
no, I wasn't a geek.
You don't have a Wolverine tattoo on your arm?
No.
Charlamagne does.
Charlamagne-
I have a Wolverine tattoo on my arm.
yeah, I heard you're from South Carolina. You from South Carolina?
Yeah,
You
he from South
already
Carolina.
know, and I have
What
a
part?
bag.
He's from Monk's Corner.
Monk's Corner.
I'm all into.
I know what that
I'm
is.
all into the new Power Man and Iron Fist
and
series.
he's got the plastic covering. Yeah, he's
You
serious.
already know. This
He's
is the new
serious.
one.
This is the new one. Yeah.
You know the guy who draws this is from South Carolina too, Sanford Green.
Yeah, I met him. I
Yeah.
met him. Yeah, nice guy. Nice guy.
Are you from St. Matthews, South
St.
Carolina?
Matthews.
There's only 2,000 people there.
I know. Not even. I think we lost a couple last week. Maybe. I think we lost a few. It was like, 1997.
How'd you get out of St. Matthews?
Oh, I think it was I think I drove out there actually. I think I literally drove away. I literally drove out. And I didn't take a plane. I think the first time I was on a plane when I was 25 years old.
Me too. First time I got on a
Yeah.
plane was 2000. When was 9/11? It was right
2001.
after 9/11. 2001.
Yeah.
The first time I got on a plane.
First time.
Goodness gracious,
That's
South
crazy.
Carolina.
Right?
The first time I got on a plane.
I know, but since then, I mean, I got a million miles. I'm good.
Yeah, right.
I'm good. But
Now,
yeah.
you wasn't into comics as a kid at all.
No, I wasn't. And so what happened is my cousins would bring comics from bigger cities, and I would read those like X-Men and Incredible Hulk and Spider-Man, and that's how I got my comic book fix. So I never even knew about Luke Cage. Luke Cage was new to me as well.
So St. Matthews, so what was your dreams in St. Matthews?
Getting
my
out.
town was 8,000 people, Monk's Corner.
Oh yeah, no, I know
it's
because I
bigger.
was in ROTC. We drove up to Monk's Corner.
Okay.
You guys are near Charleston, right?
Yep, near
Yeah,
Charleston.
yeah.
You drove it to Monk's Corner for a good time?
Well, no, I went to compete in the drill team to get out of school. It was just get on the bus and just take a trip.
Now, some people were born in South Carolina. You was actually raised there. Like,
Raised, born, bred.
you
Yeah.
went to Benedict College.
Been at college for a year.
You went
yeah.
to USC.
USC. Graduated there. Then went to Rutgers, and then
Here we
and
are.
got out.
And you got a degree in performing or something?
Yeah,
right?
master's in acting.
Okay.
So yeah, did the BA, and then did the master's in acting.
So you always knew that you wanted to be an actor from a young age?
Knew that I wanted to be one. Yeah, some people start out and they fall into it. I was like, no, I think this is what I want to do. This is what
Why
I-
though? Because like older women in St. Matthews be like, oh, you're tall, dark, and
It's all-
handsome.
No, I think I bloomed late. I think it wasn't until like Wesley came around till I was like, feeling myself. I was feeling myself late. It was like, when I was growing up, it was the Al B. Shore thing going on. You know
Light
how it
skin,
is.
yeah, absolutely.
The
Curly
Christopher
hair.
Williams. Yeah. And then it's still in, but then we got a little room.
Yeah.
Room was made for us, and I was like, okay, and then I just felt more confident. But ultimately, for me, it was just about the work. I never thought that this career would bring anything other than just gratifications, and the fulfillment.
Now, the other day I met Simone Mizik, who's also
Yeah.
in Luke Cage. She's Misty Knight, the
Yeah.
first African-American female superhero on Netflix.
Yeah.
What was it like working with the rest of the cast? Like, there's a lot of great people that are actually in Luke Cage.
It's funny, Simone, as you know, was kind of, just this is kind of a big break in a sense. Like she came out and it was out of nowhere.
She's
and
from Detroit.
Detroit.
What up, though?
Detroit. And so she came out and it was wonderful because, it was a unique opportunity to find someone undiscovered, and we needed that for this role. Mahershala Ali, another guy in the cast, is phenomenal, great actor. Alfred Woodard, Frankie Faison, Frank Whaley. We have, Ronald Cephas Jones. We have a great cast. If you don't have a cast around you, then you can't really do anything. You're only as good as the people around you. So, you can't carry it alone,
Right.
Is Viola Davis really your cousin?
It's funny. I say that and people, it's true. I never met her, but she
Yeah.
was born in St. Matthews, South Carolina too. And I know all of her family.
So you just figure all the black people in the town.
No,
are
yeah, exactly.
Some way,
She must be
somehow,
related.
yeah.
No, she must be. No, it's. I think it's our grandmothers or sisters or something like that. We were like first or second cousins. It's close. And I literally know all of her family who look just like her. So it's not like you go, I wonder. No, I know all of your people. So it's a small world. But she moved away when she was a kid. So
Was it hard to break into Hollywood?
it's everything. I think everything is really any business you're trying to break into, unless you're using nepotism, it's kind of hard. So you have to kind of just be patient. And I think I always tell people, they go, how do you do this? How do you do whatever, right? I always go, you have to know your craft. I don't care what it is. Know your craft. You'll eventually get your opportunities. But if you're just sitting there standing there going, give me a chance. I want to do this, but I don't have the credentials and I don't have the experience, then you're taking a long shot. I'm not saying it won't happen, but it's like playing a lottery. It's already like playing a lottery with skills.
So you flew out to LA and just said, I'm just going to make this work.
Pretty much. I went out for a year, and I remember struggling. I remember like I could not find any kind of job. When you first, this is like 2001, 2002. Now they have Uber. They have all these things you can do, a little hustle jobs.
Right.
They didn't have hustle jobs back then. I mean, everyone was just looking for a job in a restaurant, and they were hard to come by.
Right.
I was working on a job called Labor Ready. I don't think people know what that is.
Temp service?
Temp service, but not a legitimate temp service.
Okay.
A temp service where you're like, people from halfway houses go when you get out of prison,
Right.
or like you homeless. Like all you need is an ID, and you go there and they'll show you. You just basically get assigned to someplace, and it's usually like sweeping floors, picking up around construction sites. You're doing basic labor for minimum wage, and you work the whole day, and you probably see before taxes like $50-$60.
Damn.
I mean, it's really just to put food on the table.
Right.
And
Hey, the Mexicans aren't complaining.
No, they were working. They weren't even doing that. Those guys just working. They probably were doing better than I was. They probably worked, under the table, cash in hand, no taxes.
Right.
I was getting taxed on this $50, so it was a real hustle. So there were many times, and I thought, this is just ridiculous.
So you went from Jersey to L.A. or South Carolina to L.A.?
South Carolina to Jersey, then to L.A., then back to New York.
Where do you get the vision? Because we all have some type of vision, right?
Yeah.
If something says, I need to go here.
Yeah.
What made you say I need to go to L.A.?
You know what I do? I think people always look to someone. You look at people you want to be like. You look at people who have done what you want to do, and you kind of chart their course. You kind of go, all right, well, this person went here, or they studied here, or with this person they represented. You're trying to figure out the pieces. So for me, I thought, like I said, I didn't have nepotism. I didn't have somebody, an uncle who was a producer. So what I did was I said education was the best way for me. I went to school so I could study acting, so I could then get the opportunity to be in front of someone, so they would say, this is a studied actor, this is a guy who knows his craft, and I'm going to give him an opportunity to then go out and see if he can make me some money. But I'm looking at it from a strategic standpoint, not like, oh, just get a bag, go to LA and go to some auditions. That's what most people do.
What was your first big break?
I think my big break there, I mean, I could say $1 Million Baby, but for me, I would say it's a play I did called Soldier's Play in second stage. It was a revival. It was something that was done in New York, and it really did well for us. There were a lot of up-and-coming actors at the time. I remember Anthony Mackie and Tay Diggs ran it, James McDaniel, Dorian Missick, a lot of guys who I still know today and still are good friends with. We all were kind of, on the precipice, and for me, it was a coming out of sorts, because getting to do that in New York, you're kind of building your credibility, because casting directors come to these plays, and that's how you kind of discover it. I mean, it's really a kind of town where people, when they see you actually in a play, then they know, okay, well, this is a real deal.
You got a Quiet Storm voice too. Like the radio. Like,
Quiet Storm.
Hello,
is that still back in?
This is Mike Colter.
in
I
South
don't know if
Carolina?
they do that anymore.
Do they?
No, they don't. They was done.
I don't think so.
Quiet
Did
Storm.
they? No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do other actors help other actors out? Like after doing a Soldier's play with them, did Tay Diggs or did anybody say, "Hey, man, let's keep in touch. I could help"? Anything?
No, I mean, listen.
I know it's competitive, but do people really ever?
Well, for me, I mean, I just was. I'm never one to lean on people or try to ask people for help. For me, I'm always like, you have to kind of create your own way. I've never been a person to use people or to, leverage late relationships. I've never been that way. That's probably why it took me a long time to get going, because I figure you make it on your own. I mean, you can be in the right place at the right time. If someone sees something they can use you for, they will, give you that opportunity. But to try to like force your way in, like, everybody's got their own hustle. We're not at this point, or at least back then, we weren't job creators. We were all actors trying to hustle and all going out for roles. So I was just happy to be in the mix, really.
Now let's talk about the writer Cheo. He was from
Cheo?
Yes.
Cheo.
I don't know him,
I
but I'm a
remember
fan
him from
of
back
Cheo.
in the day, because when I used to work for Wu-Tang, he was, I think, at the Source.
Yeah.
At the time.
Uh-huh.
So he's actually the screenwriter for.
He's a creator
And
showrunner.
Okay,
and
so that explains the music and the whole vibe.
Yeah, he's got his hands on everything, and he's got a lot of energy. The man never sleeps. He basically goes like 3-4 hours a night, and he's up thinking all the time. I mean, the guy would text me at like 1 in the morning. He's like, "You up?" I'm like, "What are you doing? What are you doing up? I have a baby. Why are you texting me right now?" I go to the bathroom. I check my text messages, and he's like, "I just got an idea." He's
Right.
always thinking about something, and it's just contagious. Because me, I'm like, take it easy, man. It'll be okay. He's one of those guys. He's like, we're gonna change the game. This is gonna be great. We're gonna do this and then some. And I'm always like, calm down. We're gonna, it's gonna be okay. But together we work great. It's a great collaboration.
It's a good balance.
Good balance.
Now, you beat out a lot of big names to play this role. I know people don't really know the Luke Cage character, but I remember John Singleton had the rights to a movie back in the day, I believe. And it was supposed to be Tyrese, and there was rumors of The Rock, and it was Terry Crews, the Old Spice guy, did his own trailer for it.
Yeah.
Like, how did you feel when you actually landed this role?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I mean, I'll say this about anything you want in life. Sometimes, when you want it really, 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 really badly, you're almost like, I hate to say you shouldn't want anything really, really badly because you can end up in disappointment. But I figure what will be for you will be. It's one of those things where things come to you, and what doesn't come for you is not for you. And you have to kind of just be okay with that, because life is too short. Everybody's got their moments, and when you have something that that it works for you, enjoy that moment. When this stuff came out and people were like, they wanted to do the role and stuff, I think sometimes, as a matter of fact, I talked to John Singleton several times. I would love for him to come and, direct some of the episodes if we are so lucky to get a second season. Great guy. The vision that Marvel had, Marvel has a specific vision. No one tells them who to cast and what to do. They have a specific vision, and their vision aligned with what I wanted to do and how I approach this role. Everybody has a vision, and I think some people who are too close to the role sometimes bring something to the role, because it's very specific for them and very personal. If you grew up, like I was a fan of Luke Cage growing up, it would have been very difficult to then step into the role because my vision would have been so kind of distorted and skewed based off of my, boyhood, dreams and how I envisioned this character. We came at a blank slate. I didn't have anything but, just looking at it from the perspective of an actor trying to break down a role. What is this character and how are we going to portray him and make it, personal and unique and real,
Now, do you work out a lot?
No, now I do, but I haven't worked out in like a month now because I'm on this press tour. I got to get back in the gym and, get my trainer going. I wasn't doing a trainer for the first, year or two, but now I'm at the point where I'm like so bored. You go in the gym, you're just looking at the weights, you're going, there's another day. It's a part-time job.
Man. You got to be diesel at all times.
It's a part-time job, man. It's a part-time job. I got a 16-month-old. They run me around. I'm on Paris, London, Tokyo, Korea. It's tough. So
Did you do all your own stunts?
90% of them. 90% of them. I definitely, because the problem is, as a bald-headed guy, you can't just disguise you. Most of you put a wig on them, color the hair, you put them right clothes, any angle, you go, oh, that's the same person. Bald-headed guy, you can see pretty much, you can tell.
You got that good ball, too. You got that good ball that, like...
A good shaped head.
Yeah, it matches the whole thing. Like, see, mine, I'm bald, but then it's like...
No.
I can't get close enough. You still see hair follicles, you know what I mean?
No, you got to get that no-bump wall. They got to get that with the gold foil.
Okay.
Yeah, I just tried that. Yeah, it gets close.
It gets real close?
Yeah, it gets close.
That's what I need. I can't get close.
You got to get close.
What stunts didn't you do?
The stunts, let me see, the only stunts, they put me on a cable where I had to, get lifted into the air more than like 10 feet. They wouldn't let me do that because things go wrong sometimes. They drop you. Going through, if I had to go through glass, they wouldn't let me go through glass because, a lot of things can go wrong. Depends on how the glass is detonated.
Why the hell would you want to go through glass? You're not really bulletproof.
Exactly, but somebody's got to do it, man. Somebody's got to do it. So
you have no social media either, huh?
No, I don't knock people who have it. I mean, it's been great for a lot of people's careers. We can, list as long who has a long following list.
Kevin Hart,
Kim Kardashian. I mean, Kim Kardashian, all these people.
Selena Gomez.
And there's a lot of chicks trying to get into your DMs right now.
DMs, yeah. Well, listen, I'm
He's married, but the new babe, 16-month-old.
16-month-old, yeah. My thing is this. I'm like, I spend a lot of time, doing stuff that is about me. I do a lot of stuff that makes me have to look at myself. I think to feed into that narcissism even more by always being on my phone, downloading stuff and just kind of, what else can I do? What else can I give the fans? For me, I'm like, I need to unwind and detox for myself. I don't want to always, talk about myself and deal with things that I'm doing because it's great and all, but, sometimes, you have conversations in this business end up being all about you, and we know about ourselves.
They're tired of talking about me.
Sometimes let's just talk about something that both of us can talk about.
You know what's funny? Right before you walked in here, as someone who works in here, she came in here and she told Charlamagne, she goes,
now that's a man.
That's who you
should want to look like.
That's who you want to look like. She said, that's a man right there.
I'm like, well, what am I then? If I'm not,
you know what that is?
It was so funny to me because it really showed how she viewed Charlamagne.
No, you know what that is? She's feeling Charlamagne, but that's how she gets at him. She gets at him.
Taylor, would you like to explain why I'm not a man, but Mike Colter is?
Taylor,
that's who you should want to be.
I'm going to bail you out because I know that's not what you meant. You really
definitely meant that.
She's getting that, like you're in your school, you don't like somebody, or you like somebody, you kind of tease them a little bit. I think that's what's going on.
I definitely don't think she likes Charlamagne.
I don't even think she meant it as an insult. She just meant it.
Oh, just matter of fact.
What the hell did you mean by that, Taylor? Now, it's funny.
That's just matter of fact. It's just like it's a state of.
What it is.
I saw you on Wendy Williams, and when you came out, the girls was cheering. And then she showed a picture of your wife.
And it got quiet.
Wife, and they was like,
your wife is Caucasian.
Yeah. And listen,
how do you take that?
Here's the thing. Listen, I love my sisters. I don't know. People always go, man, that's tight. Listen, just because if somebody caught a sister walking around with a 6'7" brother, is that her type? That's the only kind? Or next week she saw him walking with a short guy or a Spanish guy? Do we have to have a type? My thing is I'm a human being. I look at people from character and what's inside. I'm not into the yes, physically, That's one thing. But you got to be on the same page. So I met my wife when I was struggling and I was in grad school. So listen, she stuck with me. I'm 16 years. It's a long way.
She was shooting in the gym.
Yes, and she was, she was with me, and she's held me up many times, and I've held her up before, So people don't understand, like, when it comes to, like, being with somebody long term, is way more than skin color that's gonna make it work.
Love is love.
Love is love. You gotta just stick with what.
I will say this though.
It never bothers me because my dad is Chinese, my mom is West Indian, so I come from a background of different cultures.
You're exotic and beautiful, and so nobody.
I never look at it like, because I wouldn't be here if people had
exactly.
an issue with
It's like
race.
You can't. The mixing of races have created such wonderful people. I mean, look at Obama. Nobody's ever talking about, man, I wish he. If he didn't have a white mom, I'm pretty sure he probably wouldn't be president. I'm being real, because honestly, we have a problem in society. We have to kind of take things in phases, and to be a black person with a white person in 2016, it's so old. It's so
explain
petty.
the Barack thing. So he needed a little bit of white privilege to be president.
No, I feel like mass appeal wise, he was black.
It's more
He's more acceptable, more digestible. He has a strong black name. We appreciated that. But as visually, I think white America appreciated the visuals.
You know how I know you're an honorable man, though? Most guys, when they struggling, they get with a white girl. She got credit. She got money. But when they get up, they leave her. You stuck with yours.
No, it's yeah, no, it's crazy. No, listen, man. She's one of those people who doesn't see the world that way. She's honestly one of those people who is a helper and somebody who supports the black community. So people always go, they don't get it. We all have to, like, join together, and we can't do this alone. So when you look at the world, you have to kind of join hands and cross aisles. This is like, it's not a us against the world kind of mentality. The people who are with us, we need to use them and utilize them, because this is a strong fight we have here.
We need white people to use their privilege to combat prejudice.
You do. I mean, that's real talk. You do. I mean, because when you look at what's going on right now, I was always saying, like, you talk about what's happening in society. You look at the police force. I know everyone is talking about what's going on. We have African Americans in the police force who obviously feel our pain, but they have their job to do. Everybody who's a white police officer is not bad. Mm-hmm. So what we have to do is allow the people who are allies to be able to trust that we are supportive of them, so we can all do this together. We can't point the finger and always assume the worst about people based on exterior.
Just like we don't want them to assume the worst of us.
Exactly. It can't be a double standard. If you walking around, we can't make assumptions about people. I mean, generalizations is a place to start, but then we have to get more specific and find out who our friends are.
Does your wife work for Netflix?
She does.
Oh.
She does.
That's how you got the job, boy. You are.
Nah, yeah.
You know what? I like what you're doing.
You like that, right?
Maybe that's how she got the job.
What does she
you
do
know,
at
you don't
Netflix?
know.
She's director of talent acquisitions, but not talent in the sense of on-camera talent, in the sense of
basically she didn't cast me, is what I'm trying to say.
No. She has nothing to do with casting process. Nothing to do with the casting process.
Now, I heard you really got hit in the face with a bat on the set.
Oh yeah. Things happen. Look. I got off lucky.
That's we got to fight after that.
But it's a stunt. Stuff is rigged. It's rigged to do a certain thing, and sometimes it doesn't go the way it's supposed to go. With stunts, if all that happens to you is you get hit in the face with a bat, you had a good day. Because pyrotechnics can go wrong. You can get burnt.
You're alive
things
still,
can explode. I mean, people get literally accidentally killed. So it was a good day.
So what did they do? Cut until you.
No, you keep going. That's perfect.
No. This was not one of those things, because
that's part of the scene.
That wasn't part. No, when it hit me in the face, it was one of those things where literally the face went numb on one side, and I was just like, and I couldn't recover from that. It was just like, gotta cut. And then we put some ice on it and kept going.
Now, do you worry, because playing these iconic characters like Luke Cage, do you worry that that's all people will know you as? Because you're playing, I know you're in Girl Trip.
Yeah.
But your name is Luke in that too.
No, not Luke. No, no, it's not Luke. But I can't remember the character name now. But it's not Luke. No, it's not Luke. God, I can't remember what his name is now. It's early in the morning. No, okay. God, no, not Luke. No, I can't remember now.
You want me to Google it for you?
Google it.
No, I don't think it's on. I don't think they've released that yet, though. I don't think the character name is released yet.
Hold on.
No,
they probably didn't know either.
Stuart.
Okay.
Character's name is Stuart. Stuart, yes.
Stuart Luke.
Stuart Pierce. Stuart Pierce, yeah.
But do you worry about that, though?
Here's the thing. I mean, definitely was a concern, but you can't really worry about it, and I'll tell you why. Because you have to weigh your options. In this business, sometimes these iconic roles come around. Sometimes these indelible characters come around. And are you going to just, are you going to pass on it because you're afraid that that's going to be pigeonholing you, or are you going to say this is an opportunity to now use as a platform to do other things? So I'm not going to concern myself about it, because it's one of those things you have to take a chance. And this is I feel like this is just the beginning. So
and the beauty of it, you're the first one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
First
You're
one out of the
first
gate.
Luke Cage.
First one out of the gate. You know, I'm sure there'll be others. You know, sure there'll be others. If this goes, Marvel never stops. So, you know, I'm happy to be playing Luke Cage right now. But, you know, look, I'll do as long as they ask me to. And that's,
Any talks of having y'all in the movies?
You know,
crossover?
what we do is really unique. It's not really, you know, we're adult kind of oriented. We're not PG-13. We're not really for the mass audiences in a sense, like, you know, crowd pleasing, family oriented. Mm-hmm. We have sex scenes, we have cursing, we have, you know, adult situations. And while I think it would be nice to be in the films, I don't know if we want to, you know, dilute what it is that we're doing that makes us very unique. Mm-hmm. That being said, you know, Marvel, if they can kind of make it work, I'm sure it'd be nice. But it's really a scheduling thing. I mean, they schedule movies years in advance. We're shooting TV series all year round. It's very tough to kind of make things just work the way you want to because it's just so much going on, you know.
Yeah, you and Jessica Jones had sex a lot on her show, but then I read that Rosario Dawson's your love interest in this one.
Well, don't let the cat out of the bag.
Okay,
but yeah, you know, Luke gets around, man. Luke gets around. he gets it in. I mean, you know, it's one of those things where I always say, you know, it's like he's a widower, you know, and so he has to kind of heal, and this is how he heals.
Right.
Yeah, I don't like that, though. I don't like he be using the widow to get vagina.
No, I don't know.
That's
not. No, I don't bring it up. They don't even know about it. It's just one of those things where it's like, you know,
part of who you are.
Part of who I am.
As an actor, a lot of times they say they take part of their character home with them after they've been intensely working on something. Yeah. After 13 episodes of filming and playing Luke Cage, is there a part of that still is?
No, I try to. No,
you're not saving lives.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not a method actor. You know, method acting to me is almost like not acting because you're creating the circumstances for yourself, and you're kind of getting to the point where you don't really. You're not separating life from, you know, reality from the acting. So I study Meisner. I know it's like kind of shop talk right now, but when it comes to acting, you know, I have a different technique.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, it's a different technique. It's basically living out, you know, life under the imaginary circumstances. You know, It's one of those things where you're giving yourself the ability to do anything under the guise of the imaginary world in which you're living in, and using your imagination. Because a lot of times in you know, method, if you haven't lived, like I say, most actors that are really, you know, people talk about how painful they are. Sometimes they have these tortured souls. They've had a hard life, so they use that then to tap into certain roles. That's great, but it's also very dangerous, and it also makes it very difficult to have a normal life. So when you have a life that doesn't have those kind of issues and stuff, and you need to play these kind of roles, use your imagination. He says cut, you let it go, shake it off, and you go about your business, and you do what you got to do, and you come back, and if he needs to do it again, you do it again. But you got to separate the two because it's not healthy to kind of, you know.
In real life, if you could have a superpower, what would you want it to be?
Teleportation, you know, traveling without customs, no passports.
That'd be dope.
Just pop into Paris when I want to.
You gotta
pop
pay for
into
that
London.
flight.
I'm gonna take the bulletproof skin with the way the police shooting us out here. I'm gonna take that.
Well, if you teleport, then they can't. Then what? They teleport. Hey, then
don't shoot me before I get to teleport.
Yeah, that's true,
just
too.
disappear. You know, boom, done.
I can't believe you don't take nothing home, not even the break the bed part.
The break. No, man. Listen, that's tough. That's tough. Listen,
it's hard to break the bed at home.
Watching that kind of stuff with your wife, man. She didn't like that kind of stuff. Man.
Don't bring that home.
I conveniently, you know, like the premiere last night, I conveniently waited to come in after. She saw it before, but I come in after all that stuff. I don't want to sit there next to her and, you know, just deal.
I was putting it down. You see that?
Yeah, you know. I'm like, that wasn't me.
It's too much pressure.
That's my stunt double.
It's too much pressure?
No, it's because sometimes, you know, you're away from home a lot, and so you go on a lot, and so they don't get to see stuff, and you know, for them, they know the process a little bit, but not really. You know, they're not on set when this kind of stuff happens. So they're going, you know, all they know is it looks real. It looks kind of real to them, so they're going, you know, it feels
you don't do that to me at home.
Yeah. You don't do it like that at home.
Just have the producers come over, loosen up the bed or whatever they do, and then when you get in there,
no, they didn't loosen the bed up. I broke that, man.
Okay.
I broke that bed.
That's enough. Let's go see it.
Got this.
Well, you can catch it today. Right now. Yeah, Netflix.
Yeah, right now. This is what I'm binge watching all weekend, baby. Luke Cage.
Right. Marvel's Luke Cage. You can check it right now on Netflix, and we appreciate you for joining us today.
Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
And go pick up the comic books, too. Salute to my guy, Sanford Green, man.
All right.
South Carolina all day.
It's The Breakfast Club. It's Mike Colter.
The Breakfast Club. Every weekday morning. Tune in.